nice to win. It's always nice to win. A lot of good friends in this room. So you know we had like historic kind of numbers, especially for the president, but we won't get into that.
Former President Trump has announced possible plans to hit John Deere with tariffs. On Monday, Trump told a group of farmers Deere could face major tariffs.
Donald Trump's re-election as President of the United States came as a shock to a lot of people. And while many are thrilled by this news, a few are genuinely agonized about the impact that his second term in the Oval Office may have when it comes to controversial issues.
I don't care where you are. In the rural parts of America, there's farmland, and you're inevitably going to see green tractors.
The John Deere business empire, which has for decades been one of the major leading production companies for agricultural technologies and equipment in the United States, is faced with the possibility of massive change, which is speculated to come with the Donald Trump re-election. In today's video, we are going to be looking at the impact that this political occurrence will have on this colossal agribusiness empire that is John Deere. The founder of this agribusiness empire was none other than John Deere, a young boy in 1804 in Rutland, Vermont. John grew up with a passion for blacksmithing, and in his quest to further his trade, he made his way to Grand Detour, Illinois in the year 1836. It didn't take long for the young and passionate Deere to recognize the need for durable farm equipment among farmers in the communities living in the rich agricultural land of Illinois, especially their need for durable plows that could withstand the tough Midwestern soil. By 1837, Deere made history by opening his blacksmith shop and began producing steel plows. His innovative designs, such as the self-scurrying plow, quickly gained popularity among farmers. By 1848, Deere's company was producing over 1,000 plows annually. This was an extremely shocking figure for that time, and most people couldn't imagine any business, especially in agriculture, making such numbers in a year. By the late 1850s, Deere saw the need to expand his business and immediately partnered with Leonard Andrus in forming Deere & Company. The company expanded its product line to include cultivators, reapers, and mowers. When it seemed like John Deere was getting too old to run his business, his sons Charles and William joined the business, helping to establish the company's national presence and taking it to a whole new level of influence. Deere & Company went public in 1907. The company expanded internationally, establishing operations in Canada and Europe. The company was used for an entirely different purpose during World War II, as Deere produced military equipment for the government, further diversifying its product line even after the war was over. The 1960s saw Deere's expansion into construction equipment and consumer products. The company introduced its iconic lawn and garden tractors in 1963. Deere continued modernizing and adopting new technologies and manufacturing processes. Deere acquired companies like Kemba and Timberjack, strengthening its position in the forestry and construction markets. The company expanded into emerging markets, establishing operations in China and India. Today, Deere & Company is a global leader in agricultural construction and forestry equipment. The company continues investing in precision agriculture, autonomous technology, and sustainability initiatives. With over $40 billion in annual sales, John Deere remains committed to innovation and customer satisfaction, although all these has not come without its issues. In recent years, John Deere has faced criticism from farmers and repair advocates over restrictions on repairing its equipment. The company's use of proprietary software and diagnostic tools has made it difficult for farmers to repair their own equipment, leading to increased costs and downtime. This cost, being uncured, has raised a lot of backlash against the company, as many farmers argue that the company founded by a known repairman restricting repairs is a clear example of greed of corporate organizations, and lots of farmers and news media have been calling on the government to intervene.
Without access giving them a chance to fix it themselves, a farmer can wait days, even weeks, for a service call, says farmer Danny Wood.
The right to repair movement, led by organizations like the Repair Association and Farm Hack, seeks to give farmers and independent repair shops access to proprietary information and tools. Farmers argue that they should be able to repair their own equipment as they have done for many generations. Others claim that the move by John Deere agribusiness to restrict repairs only seeks to impoverish farmers who are the very foundation of the American people, and hence a demand has been placed on the Biden administration to intervene. But nothing much has been done to salvage the situation all through the 4 years of his tenure. John Deere maintains that its proprietary software and diagnostic tools are necessary for safety and security reasons. The company claims that allowing unauthorized repairs could compromise equipment performance and safety. The conflict has led to lawsuits and legislation. In 2015, the Repair Association filed a complaint with the U.S. Federal Trade Commission, alleging that John Deere's repair restrictions violated antitrust laws. Several states, including Nebraska and Minnesota, have introduced right-to-repair legislation. Farmers are frustrated with John Deere's restrictive policies, citing increased costs and decreased productivity. Many have turned to unofficial repair manuals and pirated software, which can be unreliable and potentially harmful. The repair restrictions also raise environmental concerns. The inability to repair equipment can lead to electronic waste and unnecessary resource consumption. Farmers and environmental groups argue that the sustainable agricultural practices should include repairable and maintainable equipment. This is an extremely important argument when especially this is supposed to be an age where the environment is being prioritized and technological companies are being demanded to do their part to secure the safety of the environment due to the increase in climate change concerns. The conflict between John Deere and farmers continues, with no clear resolution, of course. The company has made some concessions, such as providing limited diagnostic information, but farmers and repair advocates argue that more needs to be done. The debate highlights the tension between proprietary interests and the need for sustainable, self-sufficient agricultural practices. There is a predominant belief by farmers that the recent victory by their Republican Party, led by President-elect Donald Trump, would see positive changes being effected in the resolution of the conflict between farmers and the John Deere enterprise. Donald Trump's presidential campaign and victory in 2024 have been marked by significant events and controversies, which has been deemed by many as the greatest political comeback in world political history. Starting out as a famed billionaire business mogul and TV personality from New York, Trump has made his way into US politics, from endorsing and supporting candidates. Trump made a statement where he ran for the 2016 presidential election and won office. His first campaign was characterized by his America First doctrine, prioritizing domestic prosperity and security over international commitments. He won the Republican nomination and went on to defeat Hillary Clinton in the general election. His target, which has always been the American voters over any other group of personalities, has been one thing that has endeared him to a voting public. During his first term, Trump implemented policies aimed at reducing the US trade deficit, withdrawing from international agreements, and increasing military spending. His administration also faced criticism for its handling of immigration, healthcare, and climate change.
Well, I want to thank you all very much.
In 2024, Trump ran for re-election on a platform that emphasized economic growth, border security, and foreign policy. His campaign focused on domestic issues, with exit polls indicating that only 3 to 5% of voters considered foreign policy a key issue. Trump's foreign policy approach has been described as transactional, with a focus on economic interests. He has taken a tough stance on China, pledging to increase tariffs on Chinese exports and impose restrictions on critical industries. Trump's willingness to go against powerful established bodies has made him to be seen as a savior to labor workers and traders' unions. And in the case of John Deere's situation, farmers see him as a hope to the plight of the extra cost that is being imposed on them by the company when it comes down to the issues of the demands of the company on no repairs to farm equipment. Trump has also expressed support for Israel and indicated a willingness to engage in negotiations with North Korea. In the first week of November, Trump won the 2024 presidential election, defeating presidential candidate Kamala Harris. His victory is expected to impact US foreign policy, particularly in regions like Asia, Europe, and the Middle East. Analysts predict changes in US relationships with countries like China, Iran, and Israel. Trump's re-election is likely to shape domestic policies, including immigration, healthcare, and economic regulations. His administration may also face challenges from congressional Democrats and potential legal battles. Trump's presidency has been marked by controversy and polarization. As he begins his second term, his legacy and impact on the US politics and global relations will continue to be debated and shaped by his policies and actions. Over the years, the majority of farmers have been noted to have little interest in American foreign policies. One of the major issues affecting farmers is the coercion of corporate businesses, which the farming business relies on. A prime example is the John Deere enterprise, which farmers are calling on Donald Trump to attend to.
I just noticed behind me John Deere tractors. I know a lot about John Deere. I love the company, but as you know, they've announced a few days ago that they're going to move a lot of their manufacturing business to Mexico. I'm just notifying John Deere right now. If you do that, we're putting a 200% tariff on everything that you want to sell into the United States, so that if I win, John Deere is going to be paying a 200%.
Donald Trump's view on John Deere is centered around his America First policy, emphasizing the importance of keeping jobs in the US. During his 2024 presidential campaign, Trump threatened to impose a 200% tariff on John Deere's products if the company moves its production to Mexico. This move is aimed at protecting American jobs and encouraging domestic manufacturing. Trump's stance on John Deere is also linked to his broader trade policies, particularly with China. He has criticized China for not honoring its commitment to buy $50 billion worth of US agricultural exports. Trump has vowed to raise this issue with Chinese President Xi Jinping if he returns to the White House. In September 2024, Trump commented on John Deere's plans to lay off workers in Illinois and Iowa, while acquiring land in Mexico to shift some production previously done in the US. He warned the company that if they proceed with this plan, he would impose significant tariffs on their products.
John Deere has directed questions about the announcement to a page on its website with the title, John Deere's Commitment to U.S. Manufacturing. Now, it says you see on your screen, in order to position our U.S. factories to undertake these highly value additive activities, it is sometimes necessary to move less complex operations.
Trump's views on John Deere reflect his overall approach to trade and economic policies, which prioritize American interests and jobs. His campaign has focused on the need to protect U.S. industries and workers from foreign competition. It's worth noting that Trump's stance on John Deere has been met with criticism from some quarters, with some opponents arguing that his tariffs and trade policies could harm U.S. businesses and consumers. However, Trump supporters see his approach as a necessary measure to protect American jobs and industries. Most of these voters who support Trump's views on John Deere are the farmers who have increasingly become dissatisfied with the company's approach to customer care.